Tantor with a recap of Georgia Tech's 42-21 beatdown at the hands of Clemson. Well, normally you see Tantor do his recap and he goes off and he's all pissed off and he's yelling and screaming and blaming everything on the coaches and whatever. That's not the case today. Today, we just have to get down to the truth. No excuses being made. We got beat today and we beat ourselves. Clemson's kids made plays. Our kids did not make plays. And that's how I saw the game. We have a young team. That's not an excuse. It's a fact. These kids we've seen all season long, games that they should have had a walk-off win, they get killed. Get killed by teams like Boston College and Bowling Green. No excuse for that. Then we go beat teams we have no business being on the field against, like UNC and Miami. That's a fact. Beat both those teams. Kids played out of their minds with those games. Turned in close to a perfect game last week against UVA. This week, we were at the other end of the roller coaster. It was a horrible effort by our kids. It was just bad. Now, we'll do the what I like, what I didn't like. And last week, I really had to watch the game a couple times, search for things that I didn't like, just to nitpick it to have a category. Well, today I had to watch the game twice just so that I could find something that I liked, because there wasn't a whole lot that I liked. It was pretty slim pickings on the like department. So we'll start there because it's going to be short. Hey, our defense did give up 35 points. 7 of those points actually are credited to the offense on that pick 6. And even though Clemson kind of threw the ball at will, they ran it for 200-plus yards and passed it for 200-plus yards. They had, 465 yards total offense. So they pretty much did whatever in the hell they wanted to do. Well, they didn't do that against Sims at cornerback. Sims at cornerback played a pretty darn good game. He did give up, I think, 1 touchdown pass, but he was in good coverage the rest of the time and defense passes. So Clemson stopped picking on him. They went to the other side. And without Harvey in there at cornerback on the other side, it's pretty much like playing with 10 players out there. Actually 9, because our starting linebacker's number 13, and he can't count as a player on the field. So we're playing 9 against 11, and my math skills, even though they're rusty, they're pretty good. Playing with 11 is much better than playing with 9. We can blame that on the coaches, because if that's all they've got, that's not good. We have absolutely no depth on the defensive backfield, and that's sad. It's really sad, because the type of program we have, we should be at minimum of 2 deep, and we're not. Plain and simple, they absolutely destroyed the off corner today. No, it didn't matter who it was. Number 10, who can't play, and number 17, who can't play. So they destroyed both those kids. So why don't we see 16 out there? Yeah, I know he's the backup slot, but come on, it's got to be better than the other 2 guys you're throwing out there on the other off corner. Push the slot out there. Do something. For God's sake, do something. I'm tired of watching teams just destroy us on the off corner. We finally find a kid. He gets injured. We're right back to where we were before. Didn't you watch the beginning of the game this season where we were getting destroyed on the off corner? Well, we are again. Do something. Anything, for God's sake. All right, no, that's what I didn't like. All right, let's get back to what I liked. Like I said, Clemson running a fake punt. That's the only thing we did better than Clemson today. We ran a fake punt. Our fake punt was great. Singled and thrown the ball to Boyd. That was fantastic. I love that. I absolutely love that. That's play the game. And then Clemson running their fake punt from inside their 20, and that didn't work out at all. And Dabo, I don't know what the hell he was doing. And too bad that didn't cost him a game, but all it did was cost him 7 points. I like Jamal Hayes running the ball today. He had 104 yards rushing, and he was a bright spot on offense. He was the bright spot on offense. On defense, I actually have another player from defense that I liked, Zeke Biggers. Zeke played a hell of a game. all those offensive yardage, that was not Zeke's fault because most of it on all the passing downs, he was out of the game. Why we keep pulling Zeke on passing downs, I have no idea, but Clemson couldn't run up the middle on Zeke. Zeke had the middle locked down. Jalen King's interception, another defensive play. Jalen King, man, he had inside position, cut inside, a pick. It's fantastic. So he had a great one. That was it on what I liked. There was nothing else redeemable about this game. About liking. Nothing. It was horrible. It was one of those we flush. And this is from an offense that's a top 15 offense. And that's a fact. Look up yardage and scoring. We're top 15 in the country. And we couldn't do shit today. And I don't even give credit to the Clemson offense. I give it to what we did wrong, not making plays. And this is where I'm getting into it and what I don't like. The key to this game, this is why we lost the game, in my opinion. Drop passes from the wide receivers. I counted 7 drop passes. 2 of them were touchdowns. Singleton dropped 2 touchdowns. And I've given this kid all the credit in the world all year. But when he screws up, I'm going to have to call him out on this one. I've been arguing with FSU fans probably half a season on how he's a better wide receiver than Coleman. Nope. FSU fans, you freaking win. Coleman's a better wide receiver. I'll give it to you. Coleman doesn't drop 2 touchdown passes like that put his team in a hole. That because we are young, remember, Haynes King is only a sophomore. And we've seen this season, Haynes can really turn in some stinkers when he feels that he has to play and do too much out on the field. So when his receivers are dropping passes on him like crazy, and it wasn't just Singleton dropping passes. I mean, 12 drop passes, 9 drop passes. I mean, it was just, it was a disease out there, and nobody was catching anything. They all caught the drops. And when Haynes King, when he has to take it on his own shoulders, makes bad passes, and as what I don't like, 4 picks. I mean, I hated Haynes King's game today. It was horrible. He was sacked 4 times, and most of them were on him. They were not on the offensive line. Guys were not running in free. He would step up, tuck the ball instead of getting rid of it. He was holding it a little too long, and you can't hold it longer than 3 seconds against Clemson. Their defensive line's too good. But he was 13 for 31. Now, granted, 7 of those incompletions were drops, and then that means there's 11 of them that he was just completely freaking off target. But those were coming after, in the second half, after he's thrown the picks and gotten jittery, and he was just off target then the rest of the night. He only threw for 129 yards on the day. 4 picks. Good God. That was disastrous. It did not give the team a chance to win. And I've said it all season, your quarterback has to give you an opportunity to win the game. Haynes King did not. Now, is he the best quarterback we've had in decades? Absolutely. But he's got to play better, and he knows it. One of them was a pick 6. There's nothing to say about that except for that was one bad pass. Stared down his receiver, wide side of the field. Threw behind. I mean, everything you can do wrong was done wrong. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. All right, wide receiver screens again. Do we have to go over this again every week? I know there's a purpose for this to pull up the defensive backs and everything else, but, that didn't work either. Defensive lineman substitutions. Touched on this on what I liked with Zeke Biggers. The dude's making plays. He has a tackle for loss on first down, a tackle for loss on second down, and then you pull his ass out of the game so that Clemson now can complete on a 3rd and 15, can throw a 16-yard out. Keep the damn dude in the game and let him make plays. He's taking over. Let him take over. Offensive line pre-snap penalties, the first 2 drives. Come on, guys. You're smarter than that. You're better than that. You go to Tech. You should never have a pre-snap penalty. Get it together. We go over this every week. Why Moala is starting linebacker, I have no freaking idea. None. Just watch. You people watch the game. I know you did. If the kid made any solo good plays, you let me know in the comment section, because I didn't see a one. I saw him get run over. I saw him get blocked real easy. I saw an offensive lineman block him out of the hole on a big long run by just sticking his hand out and touching his shoulder pad. I mean, that's some practice shit with no pads on. Dude, fight through the block. Come on. Do something. Why the coaches keep running that kid out, I have no clue whatsoever. It's just horrible play. So when we have linebackers play as bad as we did, although, you know what? 3 and 44 at linebacker made plays. We had 2 sacks on the day. 44 had one, 3 had one. That seems to work. So why don't we do it more? Why don't we have 3 and 44 in the game more and have them backed up by 4? 4 made plays in the backfield. He had a couple tackles for loss too. Let's see. You can go and look at it empirically and just look at the tackles made, not the made up stuff with 13 because he's a pile jumper and they're just seeing his number at the end and giving him credit for stuff. No, he's not making any initials. He had 1 tackle that I had today on my stats for him. 13 had 1 tackle. You can see that 3 and 44 make plays. Now, 44 is young. He can be out of position at times and give up, not gap contain. So, and the couple big runs were in his hole that he should have had. But he does play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and he does hit guys hard. And he should have had a targeting foul today. But luckily, the officials were bad both ways. I mean, they called some really shitty calls against us, but they also gave us credit for some, because Moala should have been, I wish they would have kicked Moala out, but that would involve him making contact, and we all know that ain't going to happen. Effort should have been kicked out for targeting. That was targeting, clear and simple. I'd have thrown the yellow flag, tossed the kid. And he wouldn't be available next week either, and we need him. So we got lucky there. So you want to talk about bad officiating? Yeah, it evened out. Because the officials were all around horrible. Both sides got victimized by really shitty officiating. Look, our kids didn't make plays. Our best unit on the field, when I was on Rec Talk a couple weeks ago, we did a halfway point summary. We all said our best unit on the field is the wide receiver room. Well, guess who played worse today of any position group, even worse than the linebackers? The wide receiver group. They cost us the game. That threw everything out. It put our offense in reverse, made us one-dimensional, got in our quarterback's head. He started throwing picks, inaccurate all game long. Things went just horrible all game long because of that. And with a young team, you've got to keep your momentum going. You've got to keep the positives going. You've got to keep the positive mindset. And we saw that didn't happen. Things went to hell, and we lost. All right? Flush it. The kids, hey, take the ride back down here to Atlanta. Flush this game. Get to work. We have to win next week against Syracuse. Let's go pack the house. Let's make it loud. It's another night game. Let's make this place so loud Syracuse can't hear anything. And let's win this and go to a bowl, all right? We got one more to do it. Let's do it next week against Syracuse. We have to. It's up to us. Let's do it. Tantor out.